Hey there, welcome to pandemic times. It's a crazy we're all facing now, isn't it? One of the things that I love about this situation and the fact that it's global and the fact that it's scary, honestly, is that it's creating this feeling of we're all in this together. Isn't that an amazing feeling that we're all in this together? We're so divided always. We love, even now, certainly people are fighting over who has the real take on what's happening right now with the coronavirus. Sure, but I'm seeing so much more than usual this sense of cohesion and connection and unity and just this general underlying feeling that we're all in this together. And, this is something that they talk about when soldiers are in war together. There's a sense of camaraderie and connection that we don't normally get in our everyday lives. And I remember I was in New York City during 9/11, and there was definitely a sense of we're all in this together. I was teaching English as a second language, and one of my students, she was German. Yeah, she was German. And she said she couldn't figure out how she felt after September 11th. She kept having a feeling of like, am I an American now? Like she just felt somehow connected to everybody around her. And then she said she realized it was this sense of, no, I'm a New Yorker now. They'd gone through this initiation and had this feeling of connection that made her sort of a club. And this is not me making light of it at all, not at all. But in terms of really looking clearly at the human experience, there's a sense of connection and cohesion when we go through very difficult times together. And so that feeling of we're all in this together that I'm seeing permeate everything is really cool. So that's one thing that I love about this. Hey, Dawn, Glama Dawn is here. Um, oh, there's more people. I can't see who you all are. Welcome. If you don't know me, I'm Maya Wild. I'm a life and business strategist. And one of the things that I do with my clients is help people hear themselves more clearly and really get in tune with your own inner compass, because I strongly believe that we all have an inner compass, whether you want to talk about listening to your instinct or following your intuition or listening to your heart. And in fact, I actually believe those are all different elements of different inner tools for inner knowing and hearing the voice of your inner compass. Hi, oh, look who's here. Oh, I saw one of your posts earlier and oh, and also, you know what I thought about? I've been doing cold showers, and I thought about you and you're jumping in to your icy ponds. I feel like that's the sort of thing that we need more of today. More, how can we ramp up this experience of feeling alive and connected? When I said this, I did a video on Friday night about fear, and I don't really remember what I said. Sometimes I get on and I just sort of ramble, right? And just trust that there's some good stuff coming through for you guys. But, looking at history and what people did when they were facing a really difficult situation that's scary, panic-inducing, you're confused, you don't really know the details of what's going on. We have to trust the news media. We have to trust the government. We have to trust statistics coming from health officials in other countries, and we're not on the front lines. So we can't stand and say, I know everything that's going on. So we're in this state of real uncertainty. And I was talking to a client today. She was saying she feels unmoored, not even about the circumstance, but just in life and where she is in her life right now. And there is something so compelling about looking at how other people in history have handled this. And in my video on Friday, I talked about 9/11. I was looking at how did people handle this feeling of fear and, oh my God, we might die, and uncertainty when they were living in London during the Blitz. And people were like, fuck it, I'm going to the symphony. Like, I'm at the symphony, bombs are falling, that's fine, I'll just die here at the symphony. And I think that there's something really interesting and important in that. And I will also just say on September 11th, when I was a few blocks south of the towers and the second plane hit and I thought they were bombing us, I did not act with grace or ease or faith or trust. I freaked out. And in fact, I remember just thinking bombs were going to start falling from the sky, and there was traffic that got stuck in the intersection, and I went to open this guy's car in Manhattan, people, downtown Manhattan. I went to open the back door of this guy's car to get in and be like, take me out of here. And he hit lock, like from the driver's seat. He just hit lock, and I remember hearing all the locks shut. And I've had a lot of shame and embarrassment around how much I panicked that day and like, how could you do that? But the truth is, we don't know how we're going to respond until we're in it, right? So looking and getting informed at how other people are responding or how other people have responded to really scary times in the past is one way that we can inform our experience now. Because I think that to create a little bit of a gap between, oh my God, what's going on, and responding, choosing how I respond, you need to create that gap, right? So that you're not just in this reactive mode all the time. And was it Thursday night? So there were a couple of nights last week where I newly have television reception. I just got hit by this like cold wave of fear and then panic, right? And all of the things that they're scary sensations to feel. And I had to yank myself out of that and go, okay, Maya, what do you believe? So this is a moment for you to look at, what do you believe about life and about death and about why we're all here? Because you can really start to lean on your beliefs. And my beliefs ultimately are that it's all okay, that there's a spiritual net, if you will, a safety net, a spiritual safety net underlying everything, that this life is not it, and we're here, it's kind of a game, not to put it lightly again, but to be playful about it. Like, we are souls having a human experience. I fully believe that. Now, when I'm in the middle of that human experience and I'm freaking the fuck out, right? I have to remind myself of it, create the gap. Remember, what do you say you believe? Okay, what are the tools you can employ? Okay, so I'm going to be talking about self-care tonight, because self-care is an amazing way for you to calm your system. It boosts your immunity. So if you're scared about getting sick, or if you are sick, you want to boost your immunity, right? And if we're all going to go out, how do you want to go out? Screaming and clawing at your face, freaking out, or like at peace going, okay, I lived fully and I'm ready to walk through the next doorway, right? And of course, that's not for me to tell you. You need to figure that out for yourself. But this is an opportunity for you to look at, what do you really believe? So going back to my September 11th experience, I wound up hitchhiking home. I lived in Washington Heights at the time, so many, many miles, like I think 10, 12 miles from the World Trade Center. And when I got home, you know, that night and for the next couple of nights and all day long, my roommate was watching television with the news. And I was like, oh, shut it off. Like, because I could just feel, because I had a margarita party earlier in the summer. So I had like Cointreau and what are the other boozes that make up margaritas? I had Cointreau, Grand Marnier. That was all I had left. So I was like drinking this stuff on the rocks, right? Just to calm myself down, baking cookies, right? Like, oh yeah, let's medicate. And I've been seeing people talk about that. I'm not opposed to that. If it's time, if there's a time for indulging, soothing your senses, even with what looks like maybe a little bit of a, I don't know, like an unhealthy, ultimately you can't live like that forever kind of a way. But there's a time and a place for all that. So that could be a brand of self-care. Eating cookies could be a brand of self-care. Having a nice drink and just soothing your nerves is a brand of self-care. But at one point at night, and again, I lived in Washington Heights. If you know the area at all, you know that the Cloisters is huge park with the Cloisters, and they have a heather garden, and it overlooks the Hudson River and the George Washington Bridge. It's just a beautiful, beautiful park, right? Built on this cliff overlooking the Hudson River. And so I left my roommates watching TV obsessively with all like the bad news, scary, scary, bad news, constantly, right? So self-care can be, what are you feeding yourself? What messages are you feeding yourself? Who are you hanging out with? Who are you following on social media? Who are you stuck in a house with having to listen to, right? So I was like, I'm getting out of here and I'm going to the Heather Gardens. And I had this favorite spot where there was this little stone wall, like jutting out. And there was this older kind of nerdy, geeky guy there. I don't know what his deal was. I never spoke to him, but he always had a radio and he was always playing classical music and sitting on the stone wall. And I got down there. I don't know, was it September 11th in the evening or September 12th? It was right there. And it was a warm night. I don't know if you guys remember 2001, but God, that was an amazing fall. Just beautiful weather throughout in New York City for months into October and November. And so I got to this wall and there were people there, couples and this guy with his radio playing classical music, everybody sort of murmuring in this garden. And I walked to the stone wall And I just remember feeling like, okay, I found my place, my people. And I walked to the stone wall and I just climbed on it. It was warm from the sun of the day. And I lay back. And as I did, I lay back and I immediately made eye contact with the stars. Like there they were in the night sky, the stars. And I heard this voice, I think it was my own voice in my head say, ah, the immutable stars. And it was like this peace hit me. And it just saturated all of my being. That's what's available to you when you find a way to get connected, whether it's through prayer or dance, or maybe you need to sob hysterically in the shower and then just release all of that. Self-care can take on many forms, but it's a way that you can access healing. You can get this shit, all this emotional shit out of your system, which is fucking fantastic, right? Old stuff, current stuff, get it out so that you're clean and clear. It's hacking up a lung. You need to clear your lungs, right? To make this like COVID-19 appropriate. But seriously, guys, I'm like, not making this too light of it. But really, when you're sick, you need to cough and get the stuff out of your system, right? You need to poop every day. Get the poop out of your system, all the old food. And you need to also do that with your emotions. And so I'm also a colon hydrotherapist. I'm not just a life and business strategist. I'm also a colon hydrotherapist. So listen, anything that will help you heal and feel better, I am for. And this is what I've built my work on, and this is what I do with clients, all right? So where are you at with self-care? Does it feel like selfish? And no, it's not self-care. In fact, you could talk about it as self-care with a capital S. How do you tend to yourself, your soul, right? That is what I'm talking about, that level of self-care. And in fact, this is so important. I've been talking about it not only with all of my clients, I've been focusing on it with myself, hardcore. Like I dance almost every morning. Just need to keep myself moving. This thing I had clients right away, so I only did like 10 minutes in the morning. But just that movement, like woof, shake it out. Like it doesn't have to be pretty. Like just move your body, help your breathing deepen, right? There are so many ways to help yourself feel better. Why is this good? We've said your immunity, because how do you want to go out if you're going to go? Feeling joyful and at peace? How can you stay sane and also connect to more creative problem solving and elastic thinking? By calming your nervous system down. Seriously, creative ideas don't come freaking stressed out. They come when you've managed to chill yourself out. And if that's not enough for you, you can take care of people better. And God, this is what I always come back to. If we all take really high caliber, like radical self-care, care of ourselves, how do we show up in the world? This is what I'm talking about. I want to be around people who are taking great care of themselves. And then there are people who aren't capable of it. Then those of us who are taking incredibly high caliber care of ourselves, we create an army like of soul spiritual warriors who are connected, who are determined to feel really well. And then we can go out and help heal the world. So you heal yourself, you heal those around you, and you heal the world. Do we not need that on every level now? Yes, we do. Karen Lang is saying, I was literally thinking about how to make this event about self-care. Yeah, yes, make this event about self-care. Karen, can you tell more about what you feel like is out of control? Jacqueline says she's strangely calm. I think that's beautiful, and I would really trust that. You know, because there's a difference between being numbed out and tamping it all down and being like, oh, I'm strangely calm. You know, I have permission to panic and get angry and upset and overbuy toilet paper. You know, I was at Walmart the other day. Yes, I sometimes shop at Walmart. I was buying saline solution. There were a couple of things I was there for. And of course, they had no toilet paper. Nobody had any toilet paper. I have toilet paper because I like to live that way. I like my way that I've always felt wealthy. Somebody just said, thanks for being so open. I'm more open again. One way that I noticed from the time I was in my 20s, I noticed that I always felt really wealthy if I had plenty of toilet paper, and like everything's going to be all right if I have plenty of toilet paper. So maybe that's the really like first chakra visceral survival place that these people are operating from. So I always have toilet paper. I thought I had 10 to 12 rolls, and then I was like, ooh, I found extra toilet paper. Don't come to my house. It's my TP. But when I was at Walmart, my cashier, really lovely young woman, was like, it's really rough because these elderly people are coming in there's no toilet paper left for them. And I saw it in Australia. Guys, did you see this? Where they've saved some hours just for elder shopping so that the elderly can come in and not get mowed over, and just make sure that they get their stuff, which I think is perfect. And then they won't be around all these people and potential, contagions. Let's see if Karen says something more. Jenny says she keeps toilet paper, paper towels, and tuna fish. I mean, right? Right? I'm so with you. Are you giving yourself facials right now, Jenny? Because, that's something that if you're out there serving the world, Jenny gives beautiful facials. If you're out serving the world, you can also turn that on yourself in terms of self-care. Hey, Stephanie. And so, again, I'm just going to repeat myself, and then I'm going to go actually eat some dinner. Oh, I see. I think I'm having a guest show up, a neighbor show up, so I'm going to have to go. But guys, let me just rehash a little bit. Self-care, yes, it's important. Let's think about self-care with a capital S and really feed our souls. And if we can take care of ourselves, we create ourselves as these healed, just like rugged individuals who can be resilient and handle anything with grace, with ease, even with joy, with peace somewhere deep in our spirits. So it doesn't matter if the world is out of control, because the world has always been out of control. And then, though, we can meet ourselves, we can meet each other, and we can meet and greet the world with this open-heartedness because our well is full, right? So go out and look at the stars. Just go out and look at the stars. Take 2 minutes. Have a moment of communion. A hand on your heart and a hand on your belly, or like touch yourself. Seal the connection to yourself. Go outside, breathe air. If you're in a city, you can just go stand by an open window. Just go be for like 2 minutes with yourself and with creation, whatever your belief system is. I had a client today, she said if she can just get herself outside, just walk from her house to the pond, she feels a shift. Now, sometimes getting herself to do that is hard, which is why she hired me, because she's like, I need the accountability. Make me do it, right? But so I'm acting as your coach right now. Go outside. Connect to yourself. Take a moment. Take some deep breaths. Know that the world has always been crazy and out of control. It's a myth if you think that it's ever been under control. It never has been. The only thing remotely under our control is our experience, okay? If you like what you hear, if you want to take a closer look at this, if you feel like you could use the support and you want some one-on-one attention from me, personal attention, you are so welcome to send me a private message and we'll talk, okay? I'm sending you so much love. Bye, guys.